Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Stewart Butler. Thank you for clicking this video. Here I'm going to demonstrate how to put a 3D animated character into your scene using After Effects, Video Copilot's Element 3D, and Adobe's Mixamo. I'm going to assume that you have a basic understanding of those three tools. This is not a beginner's tutorial at all. This isn't even really a beginner's effect. So if you're a complete beginner to After Effects, maybe put this one on the shelf for a little bit later. Around the same time last year, I put out a short film called Junior, which has a Mixamo character as the lead character. So definitely check out that short film. It's funny, it's short, it's brief. And around that same time, I also made a tutorial. It's a speed run, 5-minute tutorial version of everything I'm showing you right now. Like I said, it's everything we're doing right now in real time, but in a 5-minute abbreviated version. So if you prefer the shorter types of tutorials like that style, which honestly I tend to enjoy the short form tutorial as opposed to this long-winded real-time tutorial. And if you're like me, if you also prefer the shorter tutorials, that link is in the description below. You can check that version out. All right, so here we are in After Effects. I've grabbed this image, man-85428 MP4 from Pixabay. And it's this image of a moving camera. I wanted to have something a little bit, shaky, just a little bit of movement to make the shot just a little bit more challenging. Obviously, if you're looking to shoot your own footage, it's going to make it infinitely easier if it's on a tripod and if there's nobody moving around like this individual here. He's kind of getting in the way a little bit, but that's the idea. Once again, I want to make this video a little bit challenging. For myself, just because, it's easier to skip steps if your videos don't apply than it is to try to figure something out if I only teach the basics. So here we have this video, thanks to the guy, his name is Yosef, the guy I found on Pixabay, because it's a pretty good image, and we're just going to start, put it in the composition here, come over to your tracker, and track the camera. This is going to do a 3D motion track. And that's what we need. That is our first step. So just let After Effects work its magic. And while it's doing that, we're going to hop over here to Mixamo. Ta-da. And this is what Mixamo is like. So with Mixamo, you just create an account with Adobe. And then you have access to this whole character library that they have. All the animations, which is just like motion capture data sets, basically, that other people have done. And you can click whichever one you want and it'll apply it to the character. And as far as the character animations go, overdrive, arm space, and the trim. Overdrive is basically like the speed, so I can slow that way down. The character arm space is, I guess, if you've got like a bigger character or a smaller character, it brings the arms in closer to the character or farther out. And this would matter if your models were just the wrong size for what you're looking for here. There is actually a way, like if you have your own rigged character, basically you can upload them. You can upload them to Mixamo and it'll apply these same animation poses to your already rigged character, but honestly that's all way above my skill level, so I'm not quite doing that today. I'm just using all the stuff that they've got here. Here's a header, soccer ball. There we go. Cool. So there's all kinds of neat stuff here. Using a fax machine. I mean, you never know, man. You never know when you need your creepy monster guy to use a fax machine. He's hard at work. Here we go. Zombie biting. See, this would be awesome. Like, I'm already picturing I should have shot a plate, somebody lying on the ground, pretending to be eaten, and then I just put my terrifying little alien creature into there. Maybe we'll do that in another video. For now, I'm going to use this old man idol animation, and we're going to put this creepy alien guy in the doorway here, or maybe out here. We'll see where he fits best. All right, so now we've got our character here. Arm height. Oh, look at that. Make him even more creepy. The energy level. Crank that up to 100. Let's see what he does now. It does not look a ton different. We're just going to roll with that. So what you're going to do, once you found the character and the animation that you like for him, I'm actually going to set it back to how it was. You're going to come up here and click download. The way I've been doing this, you download it under Collada.dae, whatever, with skin, most likely. In this case, my composition is 30 frames per second, so we're going to keep this there. Keyframe reduction, none, and click download. That's going to give you this here zip folder. Go ahead and extract all, put it wherever you want to put it. This is going to have both the DAE, right, and that's the actual file. You can't open that, or I mean, I can't open that. And then it's also going to have these textures here. These textures are going to be important, so just hang on to those. First, what we're going to do is open up Blender. Now, Blender is free. Click the link in the description below if you do not have Blender. So here it is. Just click General. It doesn't matter. Get rid of this cube. Just select it. Hit Delete on the keyboard. And then we're going to open up this DAE. So we're going to go File, Import, Collada. It's the top option. And then go through, if your computer's anything like mine, good luck. Go through and select your DAE file. And here he is. Not sure why he looks like this. Hang on. There we go. Oh. He had texture, and then he didn't. That's fine. You don't really need to be able to see him. It doesn't really matter. There we go. Wireframe. I don't really know what I'm doing, guys. Blender is not my strongest suit, but I use it for this kind of thing. I use it mostly for conversions. But anyway, if you come down here, click the timeline, and scrub forward, you'll see, oh, there we go. We've got all of our keyframes, and this goes to... I'm just going to have it end at the 250 frames. I don't really need it for much longer than that. So, 250 frames. We're going to go up here to File, Export as Wavefront OBJ. Once again, go through all this and save it where you want to save it. And just be sure to title it so you can find it easier. After you've given it a title, come over here to the right and make sure the animation box is checked. So objects as OBJ objects and animation should both be checked. And then you click Export OBJ. Let it do its thing. Once Blender has exported your animation, it is now time to hop back over to After Effects and open up Video Copilot's Element 3D. So what we're going to do is Layer, New, Solid. Name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine Element. And then we're going to click Effect, go to Video Copilot, and click Element. I know a lot of people prefer this search feature over here, Effects and Presets, and type it. I don't know. I've just always gotten used to these drop-down menus. I don't tend to use the search feature very often. So you've got Element, and then we're going to click Scene Setup. That's going to open up Element 3D. Here we go. 3D. Once we're in Element 3D here, we're going to go up to File, Import, 3D Sequence. Find your character and just select the first one. This is going to grab all the others after that. When this pops up, you'll probably notice nothing. What we're going to do is come down here to the transform and hit normalize size. This will bring him up. Basically, he's just too small to see here for whatever reason. And then we want his feet to be on the floor level. So what we're going to do is go down here to alignment and change it from model center to bottom. That's going to put his feet on the ground. And then once again, as long as you made this animation correctly and it's and you did sequence as opposed to file import object, it's just going to be one single item. He's not going to be moving at all. It's just going to have like one object, no animation. As long as you didn't click object and you clicked sequence, then you should see this dialog box right, or this little section right here called baked animations. And you can hit start frame and you can adjust the start frame, and that's as long as you've got that box, then you know you are you have properly and successfully added all of your keyframes here. So one of the things we're going to do in this case, because I had exported 250 frames, I want to make sure that my end frame is 250 so that the entire animation is here. You can adjust frame offset and all of this as well, but we're going to leave everything 1, 250, 0, and 100%. We're going to go over here and click OK. Here's our character. If we scrub through the timeline, we should be able to see him moving. We could just isolate him real quick. I don't need to render everything else. All right, so this obviously looks terrible. So what do? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by going back to our main video where we had After Effects run that 3D camera track. Click on the 3D camera tracker, select an anchor point, and click Create Null in Camera. So that gives us this null over here, which is basically going to follow this this section of the doorway. No matter what. It also automatically puts our character within this 3D space. Now you can see he's not quite on the same point in space, and that's why he's going all over the place, but we're going to fix that. So come up here to World Transform, and here's where we'll adjust all this kinds of nonsense. So first we're going to bring him down to the floor. We're going to push him way the heck back. You can see where he is now. Makes a little bit more sense. Scale him way the heck up. And actually, so this is one way to do it, right? Through the World Transform. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go a different way. So I'm going to edit, undo all of that. And instead, I'm going to come up here to Group 1. Now, Group 1 within Element 3D, you know, you can... I'll go back into the scene setup here and show you guys. Group folder, Group 1. If I had another character that I wanted to be in a different group and I didn't want to adjust him on the same X, Y, and Z scale, and if I didn't want to put the second character in, you know, whatever, I would put that in a different group and label that one Group 2. But right now we only have Group 1, so we could do, you know, everything we do is going to affect this guy. So back out here, Group 1, we're going to hit Create Group Null and Create. And Group 1 null, this null right here, is going to control our character. First off, we want to crank him way the heck up scale-wise, because once we push him back as far as this bad boy, so actually we could just copy-paste this number, put it there. Whoa, where'd he go? That boy got real small. Drop him here, move him over, move him way the heck back. And he's just not quite far enough back yet, so keep pushing him. You can see here he almost like falls off of the map after a certain point. Not quite sure why that is. We'll keep an eye on that though, and just scale him way the heck up. I want him to be tall and scary looking, and honestly, I think this will look fine. I see here this is one of the trickiest parts of the whole thing, because you don't want what's going on now, which is where he just doesn't seem like he's on the floor. Like as the camera moves, he just seems he seems to be a little too close than where he is, right? Like if I move him down like this, that looks a little bit more appropriate, and we might leave him there just for the sake of making this easier for me. This null, we never even really used it. We can delete it. Really, the camera is what we needed here. I thought I might use the null. In some cases, you can like copy paste the null positioning and put it on the group null. I didn't end up doing that in this case, but I mean, it was nice to have it, I guess. Let's see here. So we got our character. He looks all creepy, where I'm actually going to rotate him, get him to face our character a little more. I might even make him a little bit taller here. I think that looks pretty good. So now, really, this is the hard part, right? Because what we have him moving around in the scene, and he's animated. He's got his pose, and we've got this guy. I don't know, maybe he's the leader, maybe he's his friend reporting back, maybe he's bringing him some food. Who knows? Who really cares? Really, what we want to do is make him blend into the scene every bit as much as the person on the right? So we can see the shadows for reference, the way the light's hitting him. For reference, we can see that there's lights coming from all kinds of different directions here. We've got this shadow going this way, but we've got his shadow going this way. So there's lights all over the place casting varying shadows. So there's clearly a light directly on top of him, and one directly on top of our character. So once again, we can use this guy as reference. This is one of the reasons why I grabbed this shot out of many others I could have used on Pixabay. I wanted to get a shot with a person in it for reference for lighting, right? It's always going to be way more realistic. It will also make it way more challenging, right? Because we got to get a not real image to look as good as the real image while they're standing side by side. So this inevitably will make it more challenging, but that's part of the fun, isn't it now? So let us begin. But let's go into Element and start really trying to marry him into this scene. So Element, scene setup again. First thing we're going to do is shadows. So shadows, ladies and gentlemen. Within group 1, we're going to click Create and Plane. Right, now the plane, we're going to scale it way the heck up. Probably doesn't need to be that big, but whatever. And under Presets, Materials, Physical, we're going to click Matte Shadow. Just double click on that. It'll apply it to the plane model, and you're going to see it's basically invisible. What the matte shadow does, just in case you don't know, matte shadow basically does not reveal anything. It's completely invisible except for shadows cast onto it. So shadows cast onto it will be what is seen alone. That is the only thing that will be seen. So come up here, click OK, and you're not going to notice any difference. Why? Because there are no lights in this scene. So the first thing we need to do, the first thing I'm going to do, is put a light directly on top of our character, directly above his head. So we're going to go over here, Layer, New, Light. And let's see, in this case, we probably should use Spotlight for the color. I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool here, grab this gray color, and then probably just lighten it up a bit. So this, in this case, it's like this light green color. Intensity probably shouldn't be that high. I'm going to play with all this in a second. The important thing is cast shadows. Shadow diffusion, in this case, we want that turned up. We want the shadows to be a bit softer, like shadows all over the place are a bit soft here. So I'm going to turn that up to, I'll leave it at 12 for now. And shadow darkness, can put that at 80 for now. And then click OK and see what the heck happens. Whoa. Okay, so move it up. I said move it up and over, and we want it to point directly downward. So you're thinking, where's the light? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. So you can see the lighting is actually kind of cool how it works. We just want it pointing in a certain direction, and I find it rather difficult. I find point lights rather difficult to move around. I don't really like them. Or I'm sorry, spotlights. I much prefer point lights. But whatever. Can't win them all, I guess. So one thing that you could do to try to get a better view of this, right? Because it looks like it's pointing down, directly down. But, I mean, there's really no way to know. I don't know if this is directly above my alien or not. It does not appear to be, but it also appears to be based off this diagram. So what we're going to do is come over here to the active camera, and instead we're going to click, let's do top. With the top, this is what we're looking at now. So this triangle here is the camera. This is obviously the light that we're moving around. And let's select group 1 null. Where is he? Where is he at? Man, he probably ain't even here. He's probably way far off. He's off. Okay, so okay, so he's so far in Z space that he is out of our range. Wow. Okay, so top view is not going to work, so we can go back to fit and active camera. And okay, well, I mean, this is neat. So I'm going to reset all the positioning lights, all the position keyframes on the spotlight, and try something different to get it in the right spot that we want it in. Okay, so why? We know we want it up. We know we want it up. That's about all we know. So first, group 1 null, hit P on the keyboard to open up the position. This is where he is in Z space, this right here. Select that, Control C, copy, go to the light, hit P, click on this. See, it's very different numbers here. Click on this, hit Control V. This is going to put, and then once you click enter, it's going to put it in Z space where it's supposed to be. Wow, that is far away. Okay, and then lift up your light, and now you'll notice the light looks like it's pointed directly at us now. We want it to point down. So grab this wheel here where it says X, and we're just going to rotate it straight down. And already we can see it is working. So continue to move the position until you are looking directly down on our alien friend, our alien subject, or whichever character you're using. Let's see. Continue to position until it looks right. Now, obviously, this is really harsh. I just want to get the positioning, and then I'll work out the other details here. we've got render settings, we've got a bunch of stuff we're still going to go over. So just getting into position right now, and we will figure out the rest. So already you're thinking, there's no shadows. I thought we put the matte shadow there. We did. We just forgot to turn shadows on. So click Element, come down here to Render Settings, and we'll do a lot more with render settings when we get to the end. But the first thing we're going to do is shadows, and click Enable. Ta-da! Let's see, ray traced. Yeah, ray traced is usually way better. And then, now let's see, these are really harsh shadows. So what can we do to get these shadows less harsh? Well, we can do a couple things here. One is pull the light further away from our character, which we could do. The other thing is go to, select a light, go up to Layer, Light Settings, and turn that intensity way down again. And this is actually cool. If you check this, if you have this box down here, Preview checked, then as you adjust things in the box, it will also adjust live over here. So you don't have to guess as you're messing around. So we're going to take this intensity down to match the cone feather. Kind of neat. I might leave that as it is though for now. And then the fall off, smooth, radius. I kind of want that high. Fall off distance, don't want that, as high. Shadow diffusion, crank that bad boy up. And click OK. I'm going to come up here to subsurface scattering, ambient occlusion, and turn that on as well. That just always makes everything look better. And that most definitely needs to be ray traced. Oh man, look at that. That already looks better. And let's see, while we're in render settings, we're just going to continue playing with it, and then we'll go back to adding a couple more lights and really blending him into the scene that much more. But first we're going to go to physical environment, and you can adjust the exposure, right? You can make him way darker or way brighter, obviously, just whatever you want to do, whatever fits your scene the best. This is where you mess with that to really make him blend in. Honestly, he looks pretty good for now, but let's see when we get a person in here. Honestly, he still doesn't look that bad. Maybe cranking that exposure up just a touch. Yeah. Honestly, kind of looks like he fits right in already. From here, it's really just adding more lights to the scene to really blend it in. You want every one of them to cast shadows. You want every one of them to just basically contribute. You want them to contribute to what you're doing to making this character look real. If y'all haven't seen the short film that I did, complete with a Mixamo character as the lead role, it's called Junior. It is on this same channel. I'll link it above and below and all of that. But definitely check out that video as well as the tutorial. Like I said, my tutorial was 5.5 minutes, really sped through it, but consider subscribing to our channel. Not only are we going to be making some more tutorials and short films moving forward, but we also make feature films. We've got a bunch of feature films coming out soon. We've got one in the past. We're in production and post-production on various stages of feature films, TV shows, and whatnot. And if you're interested in seeing some of the works we've already done, I would direct you to YouTube or to our website, butlermediaproductions.com, for more information on all of that.